Okay, all right. Let's move on to tech, especially a particular app that has been taking the internet.
What's the next latest tech that I don't know about? Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, this one in particular is an app from the company Epik with a K at the end, and
Original.
yeah. So they are the latest app that is an AI generating sort of image editor sort of app. And so the target of it is that it creates these nostalgic yearbook photos of particular people, or like people can use the app to make it of themselves. And so it's swept the internet. So for example,
I'm assuming when they say yearbook, it's like American
yearbook with the blue background. And whatnot, so
like the school photos, right? That's what you mean.
Well, we call it school photos, but they call it
yearbook photos.
Look at this photograph.
Because whoa, Nickelback.
Let's talk about a yearbook, surely.
Yeah. So yeah,
I could make so many jokes right now. I'm going to refrain from doing so anyway.
So for example, some of the celebrities that jumped onto it, like Bretman Rock, Laura DIY, Keke Palmer. I'll show you the quality of what the photos are meant to be.
It looks.
That's AI.
They look so good. It freaks me out.
And then it was funny because
it is cartoony though. I mean, like it is realistic.
You know what? You know what? It gets it's a little glimpse of like those '80s type of photos
because
where
there's like a gloss, and it's like glimmer to it.
Yeah, and even like the hairstyle of it, it feels like, even though it feels quite authentically now.
It could still be.
There is that
the classic sort of style.
Yeah.
And then Keke Palmer did a version where she's a guy. And so
it works,
and that's why she posted it. So
good hat, actually. I want that guy.
So yeah, it's very interesting. But so the reason why I've pointed out Keke Palmer's particular example, is because on the internet, especially on Twitter, people were sort of getting up in arms about her posting these photos, and since then, I believe she's taken them down. On Twitter, because obviously with this sort of app, people just want to play with it, right? They just want to test it out. Be like, oh, look, it's a funny photo. Oh, it looks almost real. Uncanny.
The narcissism comes out, right?
Uncanny Valley sort of thing. But this is where it crossed into the sort of territory of AI being harmless versus it's breaching a sort of role, because people are up in arms towards Keke Palmer because currently the SAG strike is still going. And one of the biggest issues is that they're trying to limit how AI can take actors' likeness without their permission. Yeah. And so this sort of sparked the whole thing that like people are getting upset towards Keke Palmer, but obviously with this app, it's just meant to be.
Because it seems harmless, right? But principle to what is going on in the greater context, you kind of like, wait, what are you doing? Because if you've got actors that are apparently being pulled into a room, I think we talked about this in a previous episode where they had to get photos taken and them not knowing what it was for, but then the images could be used in AI to then
in
push
future
out
projects without actually having
and
to
push out other
actors.
content that didn't need to be filmed, because obviously the cost and implications of if they needed to reshoot stuff, right? And then there's the likes of dead celebrities like signing off their likeness to be used in,
or being used
in future, which is weird, right? Because it's like posterity. Sorry,
you're there.
Yeah, but in like your legacy and, how big, especially old Hollywood stars were of that time, and then how they could be used in future. Even the likes when it came to like the hologram usage of like Tupac and all of that stuff, right? It's a bit of a weird.
There's an ethical line.
How long will you live and be famous for? And do you really like want? I don't know. There's so like the use of AI and what it could possibly do. Like even the likes of like. Sorry to be unsavory, but like, the likes of like generative porn and all of that stuff where it's out of use and all that stuff, right? Like it gets pretty.
That's the worst.
Pretty gnarly, right?
Deep
like,
fakes, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Like
and it's very unfortunate. Like that's the biggest.
It's pretty scary out there. Yeah.
So now, especially like I know again, it's prefaced as a harmless app, but it's the approach towards AI and the fact that just using it simply is helping to train it, to improve it, because it's just constantly evolving to a very scary extent.
What was I vaguely remember like this factoid from, I can't remember where I was listening like to it, but essentially they were talking about how AI models at the moment are favored towards, well, are over indexed towards like Caucasian people.
What models?
Look, I'm gonna need to get back to you, to be honest. I just remember this vaguely from somewhere I was listening to, and it's the intake of other ethnicities is actually behind, and that's why when there was this meme that was going on in maybe it was like a month ago, where people would generate like photos, like a 9 grid photo of them.
Like, I think I saw like
as if it was like,
was
like Google, like, when you have to go on Google and you have to say, oh, which one of these is the pizza and all of that stuff,
yes.
right? But then it's like, it shows you different versions of yourself, but it looks really warped and really bizarre.
Yeah.
And they were saying that, yeah, it's with other ethnicities, because they don't have as much, I guess, inputs to be able to form like a realistic picture, it gets really strange.
Yes. Yes.
It's just interesting, right?
It is. It
Yeah.
is. But otherwise, like the app is still available. People are still using it.
It's free.
hopping
It's
on
free
the
to use,
trends.
obviously, right?
Oh, there's some.
Who is it? Is it the Russians that have got it?
Who's got all our faces? Well, wasn't that?
Is it China?
Well, yeah, the app is free to download. It costs between $6 to $10, depending on.
Problem is, the outputs that it creates looks great. Like they look good.
Sorry, what's it called again?
Epik with a K AI photo yearbook. Just search that up, basically.
Honestly, the more like, I think, the more these things come out, like we've already seen versions of this out. Remember, like, was it Snapchat? I don't know who was doing that filter where you'd take a photo and it would show how you'd look when you were older.
Or opposite gender and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
the opposite
Oh,
gender
mate.
ones were.
No.
I mean, like, it's already like those are like lo-fi versions of that, which have already been out there, and people gladly, hop on that trend to easily give their data. Like, it's being trained, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's already being trained.
It's
Train of thought.
It's really
How profound.
how we have to hone in like the use of AI, because for example, like we use AI in general, for example, like spell checking or
Grammar.
for me, like in Photoshop,
Not yet sponsored.
and like in Photoshop there's
Could be.
the opportunity that you can auto blend, or you can
Yeah.
fill in something based on using the AI within the program. But like AI is inevitable, but it's just a matter of like
Use case.
being able to, we have to control its growth before obviously like it's going to look to get out of hand. And like we're not just talking about robots, we're just talking about how all these little programs and how much we're putting of our data into there as well.
I think the irony is like we're going to like give those keys ourselves.
Without even knowing.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think even with
it's already
knowing, we don't
begun.
care. Like it's a Trojan horse. It's already happening. Again, like if that app was free, as an example, how many more people, like so much more people would use it? Like it looks so good. Like,
And
it
little
looks
celebrities,
like you would use it.
Yeah,
It looks really
People,
good.
if it was free, people would gladly use it, like easily. Like so, I think like unfortunately, just due to like our nature, that's why they've just got to try and find a way to embrace it, because I think like that's always a challenge with it, with that tech, which everyone, you want to try and get a competitive advantage. People are going to use it in different sort of ways. But anyway,
and
I think it's going to be a constant story, right?
And exactly. And a matter of, I guess, the public in general, we just have to be vigilant. Like, make sure to question something if, like, is this actually AI? Is this real? But it's getting
They're
crazy.
getting very hard, actually.
Yes. Like, recently, actually, I saw this tweet where it was this photo of a crocodile and a pizza. And people were talking about how
a
it
pizza,
looked very real. But then it's like, for the eagle-eyed viewers, or like they notice that something's off with the pizza shading, for example.
Well, firstly, how is a pizza and a crocodile? Like, contextually,
Yes.
those don't make sense.
Yes, exactly. Well, yeah, you would start with that,
I
but
love the detail. It's like
It-
the new. It's new. It's the new
Like,
spot. The
wait a
difference.
it's
second.
it's a new
Wait
or
a
in general
second.
Pepperoni does not sit right on that.
or just
Pretty-
in general like photoshopping, how people
I'm-
would be like that does not look like it's right on there.
Like,
Yeah.
if
And-
I were a crocodile, would I order quattro fungi?
It's
I'd
like
be a meat lovers. It has to be a meat
that
lovers.
crocodile looks like too snatched at the waist or something like that because
Exactly.
yeah, it's all warped and
it's-
whatnot.
Or people being like, "That's an alligator. Thank you very much. Not a crocodile."
Get your facts right.
That's right.
AI.
And people mentioning as well how AI is especially dangerous towards like like artists because people are noticing that now AI particular generated pictures like they're getting better at hands because hands used to
Yes.
be the giveaway of how they draw of how AI would generate hands. That's the giveaway of how you could tell that's a fake image
didn't know
or
that.
not.
There's so like
I didn't even know
there's
that.
so many of them
I don't
where
even
they
look
just
at-
look so.
I don't even look at photos of hands. See,
Bizarre.
Even Chauncey's like freaked out about this. Like,
Yeah, man. The think of all those hand models that are getting out of the business. They're like, I'm gonna take all my photos.
of the hands.
I want to
on
be
my
a hand
hands.
model, man.
Yes.
You're not getting my hands.
Exactly.
Don't you touch my hands.
All right,
Exactly. But anyway, to general audience, like I guess we just got to be careful with the AI out there.
Don't photograph your hands, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go
Don't let
analog.
him see your hands.
Go analog. Get your DSLRs.
Get it all out, even those.
All right.